Hey, what is up, YouTube? The Professor here from Super Nerd Reviews, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Slash. Now, first off, let's take a look at the packaging. And just so you know, I found Slash and Slog while I was at the Indianapolis Children's Museum last month, which I was happy, but they were really overpriced. I'm not saying that I hate the place, it is pretty good. But it's not the ideal place to buy figures. I mean, Slash was around $24, and you can buy a deluxe class like him at Walmart for like $12 to $16, so it's almost double. And Slog was the price of a Walmart leader class figure, around $34. So it's a fun place to go, but bring a lot of cash if you plan to look for figures. But anyway, back to the packaging. On the front, you have a nice picture of the figure, and a really nice picture of Slash. He looks like he wants to eat me. I wish all the others were in the movie. I would have liked to see the whole team assembled. Now, in the top right corner, you have the Age of Extinction logo. And there's not pretty much anything on the sides. You know, you have the Transformers in big red font on the side of the box. And on the back, you get more pictures of Slash. Yay. But that's pretty much it for the packaging. Now let's move on to the figure itself. So let's take a look at him, and right off the bat you see that he is bright green with some yellow. Now because of his paint scheme, he does seem to stand out from the other Dinobots, but he's a really nice looking figure, so it doesn't bug me at all, not really. Also, as you can see, he is a Velociraptor, which I think is very cool to incorporate other Dinobots and dinosaur forms aside from the original 4 from the movie. So let's get in close here on the head sculpt, and it is a very cool mold. You got some nice molded in details. Got some black around the eyes, which are picked out in red. The teeth are picked out in that nice silvery grayish paint. You got some black on the spikes on the back of his head. I would like to announce now that if you haven't noticed, all of the Dinobots are insanely spiky. Look at his tail, which is picked out in yellow with some green paint on top, which in my opinion looks good, and it is also made out of that soft, bendy plastic. The raptor neck has some great molded details too, and is also picked out in yellow. Just to say, the transition from the green on top to the yellowish paint underneath and on the tail is really well executed. I really like it. Looking at the legs, they have more of those soft plasticky spikes so no one pokes their eyes out, along with some really nice details. And they have the big retractable claw, and I really like it when they add accurate features to the Dinobots. It makes me really happy. Now for comparison, we'll bring in his wave mates. You got Voyager class Grimlock, Voyager class Slog, which I will be doing him next. Then you've got Slug, Snarl, Scorn, and Strafe. And overall, just look at this team. Like, those are some good Dinobots right there. I mean, his paint, like I said before, it really makes him stick out, but you know, it doesn't bug me. Just seeing these insanely spiky dudes, doesn't matter what color they are, they'd be like really menacing to see walking down the street or something. So the articulation in Dino mode, his head can't really move much, but that's more due to the transformation. You can raise his top jaw a little bit. If you angle it right, you can move his bottom jaw down. But that's pretty much it for the head and the neck. Because just due to the way he transforms, his head and neck don't really move much. His Velociraptor arms are on a ball joint. So you got some nice movement in there. Kind of hindered by the rib cage thing. And the legs are also on a ball joint, so they can do a nice 360. They can go in and out. And he got a bend at the knee, but that's more due to his transformation. And if you work it right, you can also move his feet, which could be a good feature. Right below the knee, he does swivel, but again, most of his articulation is due to his transformation. And his tail doesn't really move much. I mean, it's made of that soft plastic, and as you can see here on the top, it's tabbed in. So it really doesn't have any movement on its own. I mean, you can't bend it, but, that's pretty much it for articulation in Dino mode. Now let us move along to transformation, shall we? Let's. So first off, what you want to do is raise up the top half of the raptor head, which, as you can see, it's on kind of like a double hinge. So you want to move it all the way back so it's propped up against the dinosaur neck. Raise up the bottom jaw, so now he has like a massive underbite. And you just want to take these rib pieces and fan them out. They're on this little swivel, so you want to swivel them outwards so kind of gets them out of the way. Next thing you want to do, which I think this is part really cool, you want to untab the dino legs. So his sides, there's a little peg and there's a little C-hook attaching them. You want to untab both of them because they rotate around, and when they rotate in unison. Next thing you want to do is split the head and neck. And you want to rotate it around 180 degrees. Flip out the foot and rotate the bottom half of his dino neck. And now that you look at it, his Velociraptor head kind of makes the heel spur, which I think is a really cool feature, incorporating the dino head into the feet. But that's pretty much it for the feet. Yay. Now what you want to do is take those things we just untabbed and rotate them 180 degrees in unison. And there's another C-clip which they will kind of hook onto, and it latches on very securely. And now would be a good time to flip down the dino tail. Like I said before, it's just tabbed in to his chest in robot mode, so you want to untab that, bring that down so it goes up against his back, revealing his head sculpt, and I will be going over that later. Then you want to take his Velociraptor legs. You want to flip down the foot, which since the foot didn't have much, it actually has a latch where it kind of stays in place in dino mode. You want to flip it down so that it goes up against the back toe. You want to swivel that around 180 degrees and flip it back to reveal his hand. and you just want to make sure you get everything oriented properly. The back of his Velociraptor leg will basically tap into the top. You want to untap that so it gives him a longer leg. And now you do that for the second leg as well. Yay, arms. And you want to take those two rib pieces we found out earlier and put them against his shoulders. And the ribs themselves are on a little swivel joint, so you can angle them however you like. I kind of like angle them slightly so that it looks like he has raptor claw shoulder blades, which is I think it's really cool. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of transformation. Now, he also comes with weapons, and they do store in Dino mode. If you didn't see, on the bottom of his Velociraptor arms, he has these two light greenish yellow, like, claws, or blades, and they're made of soft bendy plastic. What you want to do is, like, pull those out, and, they're made of that soft bendy plastic, and they are his twin axes, which I think is really cool, and you can have him holding those. So now he's wielding his two axes of murder, death, justice. Now, articulation in robot mode. He can move his leg forward, you can move him back, you can move him in and out. You do get that swivel from transformation. And he can wiggle his toe. Yay, toe wiggle, fun. His arms can do a 360, but the shoulder blades do kind of get in the way, so you kind of have to manipulate them if you want him moving his arms. But it really doesn't bother me, because once I'm done here, he'll just be put on display with his other teammates. Now, his arms are still on that ball joint, so you got a lot of movement with those. You do get a bicep swivel. You got yourself an elbow joint. Unfortunately, his arms don't really do anything, and I know what you're going to say. Gorilla arms, worst toy ever. Well, just look at Grimlock. His were bigger, and he looks fine. I don't care about gorilla arms, really. Makes him look beefy and tough. Let him look tough. Let him look tough. And as you can see, he's still got all that paint going on. He's got a bit of black showing now, which I think is really cool. Looking at his head sculpt, he looks like he's wearing a hard hat. Like, I don't know why. All the others look like knights, and he looks like he's wearing a hard hat. Well, I guess he does have that little mask that old sets of armor used to have for the helmet. But, you can't really see it because the whole face is picked out in black. I really wish they would have done something different for that, but, they did what they did. They dealt with what they had. And it's a really dark color, but as you can see, the visor is picked out in red. So he does keep that red eye color from his Velociraptor mode. And I think that's pretty much it for articulation in paint. So now let's bring in his buddies. Here we have Grimlock, Slug, Snarl, Scorn, and Strafe. Now, just look at this massive team. I mean, you see this team coming at you, just know that you're going to die a very painful and spiky death. Very, very spiky. But overall, this is a pretty good-looking team. I mean, wow. And I will be reviewing Slog next. And I'll give some more information about the museum, because I got him there as well, like I said before. And I think that's pretty much it. So there is the Transformers Age of Extinction Deluxe Class / Stay tuned for my next video when I review the Ninth Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Remember, never be afraid to be a nerd. Embrace your nerdiness and be proud to be a nerd. And I will see you all next time. This is the Professor signing off.